Celine and I grew up reading these same stories. One of our favorites was the story about the elemental stones, the 4 treasures of the world, filled with incomparable power. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir de Vide, and today I want to play a game called Water Mage. Once upon a time, 4 magicians known as guardians kept peace over Earth, but their magic was made to serve, not to rule. So they chose 3 men to be kings, and humanity basked in a golden age of prosperity. Yet power corrupts, and the 3 rulers craved a single throne. War erupted among their factions, and Earth fell into chaos. The guardians were forced to take sides, and the land split into thirds. Many years later... Happy 18th birthday, Savay. Today you will inherit your birthright, the title of the Water Guardian. I will step down from my position as the temporary guardian and relinquish all rights to you. After today, we will no longer be pupil and mentor, but guardian and aid. Aww. I promise not to let you down. Mage, my mentor and godfather, is a magician. For those who have studied magic in the country of Florian, the name Mage is not unfamiliar. During his golden age, Mage shaped the roots of magic theory. His title, Mage, was awarded by the late king in honor of Mage's contribution to the study of magic. But he's also a playful, kind man, someone who feels like a grandfather. He looks like an alright guy. I hope nothing terrible happens to him. Those are forget-me-nots. I only know that because I had to draw them recently. Here, I brought some flowers. It seems to fit the occasion. With a dramatic sweep of his hands, Mage reveals a bouquet of flowers. All the while he gives a big toothy grin, as if proud of his own thoughtfulness. They're wildflowers, blue forget-me-nots, grandmother's favorite. I wish grandmother was here. She wanted to see me on my induction day. Your predecessor would have been proud of you. You've grown into a splendid woman. You flatter me. You deserve every praise. In fact, I'd say you're more prepared than your predecessor was. No, really? You're just being silly. Grandmother was always prepared. There's a mischievous twinkle in Mage's eyes, but I can tell he's serious. Don't be fooled by all the reputation she built later in her life. When she was younger, your predecessor, my cousin, she was quite... Who dares? Who dares interrupt my touching moment? The interrupting knocks are rhythmical and telltale. But even without the knocks, I know the smell of worship incense. Honorable Guardian. Avion kneels at Mage, his dark robe sweeping the floor. The smell of incense sticks to him like perfume. I catch a whiff of its violet scent when he rises. I apologize for my interruption, but this is an urgent matter. My Lord Azura has asked for your counsel, Mage. A dead man has been found not far from the village gate, by the shores of the lake. Ooh. Mage stands up straight, his eyes suddenly sharp and serious. That can't be. I kept watch last night and there was nothing out of the ordinary. Mage and I kept watch together many times in the past, a simple task for a quiet town. But yesterday was my first day alone on night patrol. Mage thought I was ready to tackle the task by myself. Now there's a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. A man died under my watch. Who? I didn't recognize the face. None of the clergy could identify the man. Even if we knew who it was, his body was grotesquely swollen. His features were too bloated to tell. Ooh. Besides, beasts were feasting on his flesh when the body was found. It isn't a pretty sight. Lord Azura himself will explain the details. He has asked for Mage's private presence. Understood.
Wait, Mage, let me go with you. I must speak to Lord Azura about this incident. I want to know what happened.
No, Savay, wait here. You're not yet Guardian, and I'm still the Guardian pro tempore.
But
you still have preparations left for tonight's ceremony. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Famous last words.
Despite Mage's words, anxiety creeps in. I'm starting to doubt my memory of yesterday's patrol.
Meanwhile, Avion, please keep Savay company. If I'm not back by midday, accompany her to the ceremony halls. As you wish.
Mage leaves the room. His footsteps echo down the hall until there's nothing but quiet. Avion is first to break the silence.
It was one of the altar boys who found the body.
He clicks his tongue, loud enough for me to hear.
Ugh, what a simpleton. He just couldn't keep his wretched mouth shut. He knows today is induction day. Why couldn't he wait until everything was over? But now, everyone, all of Hydragay, will learn of the body.
Why shouldn't they? Avion simply looks at me, his brow furrowed tightly together.
You can't be serious.
A dead man was found, Avion. The village, Hydragay, deserves to know. There was a potential murder, and you want secrecy? That is not the right thing to do.
Savay, the village of Hydragay is superstitious. The discovery of a corpse is a bad omen. It will be held against you.
That doesn't matter. This was caused by my negligence. It was my duty as guardian.
But it does matter. Under Mage, there has been nothing but peace, and all of a sudden a dead man washes ashore on the day of the Guardian Heir's induction? I don't want...
He suddenly stops, looking away to exhale a harsh breath of air. And I notice the bags under his eyes, cracked lips bloodied by impulsive biting. You're looking out for me.
Look, the important thing is... Savay, you will become Guardian, and I'll make sure it happens.
Avion wipes his forehead with the back of his hands, clearly annoyed.
I know Mage will take care of everything. He's your teacher and godfather. I won't let any harm come to you. And that ends it. We can talk about this later, when...
Ah! Cute! Savay! Congratulations! And out of the blue, another guest appears. The door slams open so forcefully that I'm concerned it may have fallen off its hinges. Kelsey? Kelsey, slightly taller than I am, seems like a giant when she jumps towards us. Face beaming with excitement, Kelsey embraces me in a squeezing hug. Oh, look at you! Widow Savay all grown up. Kelsey is so proud of you. In the din of confusion, all I can do is laugh. We were talking about a dead body and how my reign as guardian might be cursed, but yeah, whatever. It feels like spring has bounced into the room, Kelsey's body warm as the sun. Really, Kelsey, no need to break down the door. How many times must I remind you, knock first, then enter? Meh, Nalia, don't be so stuck up. I want to see Savay. Happy birthday, Savay. Aw. Kelsey sticks out her tongue and blows a few raspberries at Nalia. Her face is so close that I can feel her breath. Kelsey's whole body radiates joy. Aw. I wouldn't be surprised if she suddenly sprouted a tail and started wagging it with incredible speed. I squeeze her back, and Kelsey lets go with a grin. Nalia collects her straying companion. I almost expect to see a leash when Kelsey returns to Nalia's side. Happy birthday, Savay. Is it too early for celebrations? Perhaps a little. There's still the vote. Oh,
The vote, that's just a formality. Mage's words, no guardian has ever failed the vote. Hopefully this is the one time I fail the vote. Nalia waves her hand dismissively. Her posture is straight as a nail, chest puffed up with pride.
Well, it's still procedure, isn't it?
They need some way to weed out unqualified guardians. You can't rely on bloodline alone. What is that supposed to mean? Kelsey slaps my back teasingly.
Relax, I'm not talking about Savay. She'll be a wonderful guardian. And that aside, Mage and Avion already make up 2 votes. Let's see, you have to have the majority vote to pass, right? How many people vote again? 1, 2...
3 votes. The triumvirate is composed of the Guardian, Priest, and Lord of Hydragay. That's Mage, Avion, and Lord Azura. Of the 3, Savay needs 2 votes to approve her induction.
Well then, Savay has it covered. There's no way Mage or Avion will vote against her.
Right? Mage?
That means Lord Azura's vote won't matter.
Kelsey does a little twirl and strikes a pose. Kelsey, don't test my patience. Pretense or not, it is part of the ceremony. Don't be sacrilegious.
Oh, don't be sensitive. It's no big deal.
No big deal? These past 5 years, you don't know how hard I've worked to become head priest. As if I was going to risk a gamble. As if I was going to have some idiot from the monastery cast a wrong vote.
Yeah, we've heard this story 1,000 times. Your hard work has been duly noted. What a good boy.
Don't be so condescending.
Oh, is this embarrassment that I sense? I thought you liked attention.
Why, you little... Avion tenses like a spring, and I place a hand on his shoulder. I've seen enough of their bickering to know it's best to intervene before things get out of hand. Kelsey looks like she could take 'em. But Kelsey takes a step forward, showing no intention of backing down.
Calm down, Father. Save your outbursts for the sermons. I'm sure you'll need it to wake the sleeping parishioners. Not that anyone would care to listen to made-up stories about a made-up god.
Kelsey, you keep talking like that, you're gonna get struck by lightning or something. Or hit in the face by Avion. You godless animal. Kelsey, stop mocking him. Think before you speak. Avion is a priest. You know how much the religion means to him. Nalia lets out a sigh. And Avion, please don't resort to name-calling. Kelsey and I are the same. Neither of us belong to the religion. Is that how you think of me as well? Miss Nalia, I would never speak a word against you. You know that. I'm sorry if I offended you.
Hey, where's my apology?
Don't push your luck.
Kelsey, come over here. Apologize to Avion. I'm sorry.
Nalia pats Kelsey on the arm, probably because she can't reach the top of Kelsey's head. And Kelsey whines, seemingly with enough decency to appear ashamed. Their interaction reminds me of a naughty kitten and her overbearing guardian. Aw, I'm exhausted.
But Naya, you haven't done anything.
I'll make some tea.
Sounds great. I'd like some warm milk.
This is for Miss Nalia. You're on your own. Still, when the water boils and the smell of lavender wafts through the room, a cup of milk is brought to the table. Aw. Only a few minutes pass before a messenger arrives with the news. Lord Azura wishes to speak with me. For a fleeting moment, I had forgotten about the incident. But it's inevitable. I have to deal with the consequences. Now... Now that body washed up on the shore, and it looked pretty bloated, so it had been in the water for a long time. That might not have been their fault.
Although I was eager to speak to Lord Azura earlier, there's a sense of dread that creeps into my skin. Savay, you look pale. Is everything okay?
She's going to be fine. Lord Azura won't keep her long.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm needed at the Great Hall. Sorry I won't stay for tea. See you guys soon. See you at the ceremony. Ooh. The village lord awaits in the ceremonial hall, face grim and stoic. His hard eyes betray nothing but stiffness and formality. Instinctively, I clench my jaw tight, too familiar with Lord Azura's scorn for chatter. Instead, I bow with all the grace I can manage. Mage is still present in the hall, fidgeting next to Lord Azura. His face lightens at my entrance.
Savay, Lord Azura and I had a long discussion about the distressing incident. Just horrible, especially so on induction day. No need for idle talk, Mage. I no longer require your services. You may leave. Today is a busy day, and I cannot afford to waste time on fringe matters.
Lord Azura's voice is low and commanding, fit for a leader who aims to strike fear, not love.
You better not be a bad guy.
His temperament is a striking contrast to Mage's penchant for flamboyance. My two godfathers, both inside and outside, could not be more different. Oh.
Well then, my lord, please do not forget, we are done.
As Mage leaves, he tries to flash a reassuring smile, but only manages an awkward grimace instead. Once the door closes unceremoniously, Lord Azura turns to face me.
Godchild, I would have preferred to see more of your grandmother in you. But the day has come.
I remain silent, trying my best to hold my tongue.
Mage deludes you, fills your head with incessant chatter. But as flippant as that man is, Mage is powerful, I admit. That is why I keep him close, use him to the best of his abilities. But what can you offer? Your magic pales in comparison to Mage's, let alone your grandmother's. Yesterday was your first night watch, and a man is dead.
Now listen here, sir. That may not have been my fault. I don't have the information of how long it takes for a body to bloat in water. Lord Azura. His eyes pierce into mine, cold and accusing. Please, Lord Azura, I only want to do right.
That's your single redeeming quality, your perseverance. But I cannot, in good conscience, leave this village in your hands. I will vote against you in tonight's ceremony.
Something inside me cracks. Lord Azura, you were there since the beginning. You know that I've tried my best.
If this is your best, then quit. With mediocrity, you will only endanger this village. This is not a position to be taken lightly.
Yeah, but still.
The aftermath of the war still looms at large. Clans are at the height of their power. As guardian, you will be responsible for protecting the village for decades. This dead man we found likely is a result of a clan's struggle for power. Go look at the corpse. Will you be able to tell me information of use?
Do I have to? He jabs a finger at the stage. There's a thin white sheet covering what I can only assume to be the unfortunate man's decomposing body. Lord Azura grabs the back of my neck roughly, ow, forcing me to turn and walk towards the corpse.
Mage was able to tell me the man's identity, cause and time of death, and the rough identity of the killer. He also performed a binding spell to preserve the body. But what can you make of the body? Tell me.
He takes off the cover without fanfare, exposing a bloated, naked lump of spoiled and half-devoured human meat. There's no smell, likely from Mage's magic, but the sight is overwhelmingly shocking and gory. I have to turn and retch away the contents of my stomach. Hey, there goes my tea.
Don't look away, godchild. Do not look away.
I'm gonna.
This is after Mage finished cleaning up the mess. He didn't bat an eye, piecing together the severed body. This type of clansman attack is not out of the ordinary. Clans are worse than beasts. You will see worse sights.
Lord Azura. I'm half panting, retching, slivers of bile trailing out of my mouth. The initial shock has somewhat dissipated, but I'm still struggling to catch my breath.
Savay, you are too soft, too kind, too weak. Years ago things were different. Clans were only guilds, brothers in arms, alchemists and apothecaries. But now we are in turbulent times. The meaning of clans has deteriorated. They've become criminals. Clans plunder and pillage, wreaking havoc with the pretense of justice. You cannot remain a child of summer. Mage has concluded that this was the work of the clan of Lysian. The victim's body carries Lysium's signature mutilations. And judging by the victim's uniform and the golden trinkets he carried, the victim was a soldier from the capital, likely carrying gifts from the king. If the king's soldier could not survive an attack by clansmen, how can a mere 18-year-old be expected to protect the village? Change must come, but not now. We need Mage. We need stability. Although he isn't a true guardian per se, just a placeholder.
Lord Azura replaces the sheet over the dead body, making sure no parts are visible. Once he's done, Lord Azura hands me a handkerchief. His motions are less harsh than usual.
Don't worry about the mess. I will ask Mage's protégé Nalia for her assistance. She knows best how to deal with corpses and bodily fluids.
Oh. I'm surprised at how gentle his voice sounds. We remain silent for an awkward moment. I feel like a child again, making a mess and disappointing my godfather. And when Lord Azura speaks again, I can feel fatigue in his voice.
Savay, before the ceremony tonight, before you make a fool of yourself, please forfeit the guardian position.
But all my friends are counting on me. The room is empty. The sunlight seeping through the windows feels lukewarm.
I heard from Nalia.
Although Nalia had had my best interest at heart, I hoped she wouldn't tell Mage. What happened between the two of us was nothing but shameful. Lord Azura ordered me to give up the guardian position. It's not the first time he said something like this. I shouldn't have expected anything different.
Did he call Mage in there to force him to vote against me too? Lord Azura, he doesn't have anything against you. He just...
Mage pauses, as if unsure what sort of comfort to offer. I wonder if he's weighing between his friendship with Lord Azura and loyalty to me.
Your grandmother, Celine, was a singularity. That may be why Lord Azura has impossibly high standards.
How frustrating. This isn't what I wanted to hear. How long will Celine's legacy haunt me? I may never be half the magician she was, but I don't intend to give up the guardian position. Celine entrusted me with the village. I made a promise to her.
I do not think Lord Azura will vote against you. He's not a cruel man. He would never embarrass you in front of the village.
Mage puts a hand on my shoulder, as if trying to encourage me.
In the unlikely event that I am mistaken, and Lord Azura votes against you, Lord Azura is one of 3 votes. Avion and I will overturn his decision. Everything will be okay. Trust me.
There's a sense of finality in Mage's voice, but there's something else weighing on my mind. What about the corpse?
The corpse? Oh, the body found this morning.
The image of the dead soldier is still freshly imprinted in my mind. He came to enjoy festivities, sent by the king to witness the induction ceremony. Oh. Instead, he was brutally murdered by a clansman.
Do not worry. Avion ordered the clergy to keep their lips sealed. No one will speak of the incident, at least until the ceremony is over.
But it was the work of a clan. There may be danger. Shouldn't we be cautious?
An isolated incident does not demand an immediate solution. We can deal with it tomorrow. Lord Azura agreed to this decision.
But it doesn't feel right to hide something as important as this.
We must set priorities. The induction ceremony is less than an hour away. This is not the time to incite fear.
Maybe I'm being paranoid. Maybe Mage is right. He's much smarter than I am.
Let us...
Jiminy Christmas! Gosh dang it! Ah! Sounds of explosions echo off the distance. Screams scatter like leaves in the wind. I'm lying flat on my stomach. It takes me a moment to understand what happened. I'm gonna knock all the bottles and potions off our shelves. Mage? Mage is on his knees. He looks unhurt, but his eyes are wild.
Are you injured?
No, I'm okay. That didn't feel like an earthquake.
No, it was not an earthquake. This is magic.
Magic? Is this the work of a clansman?
Perhaps, but I know this magic. Savay, stay here.
Oh no! Several unlikely scenarios run through your head. Several unlikely scenarios run through my head. Magic users are few and far between. If a magician is attacking Hydragay, that narrows down the list of suspects. But I don't have time to think about that. There is real danger. And I remember Lord Azura's words.
As Guardian, you will be responsible for protecting this village for decades. But I cannot, in good conscience, leave this village in your hands.
I don't know what's going on, but it's my duty as Guardian to protect the village. My legs are shaking, but I manage to push myself off the ground. As I run towards the door, Mage suddenly grabs my arm.
Wait!
There's a hint of desperation in his voice.
You are not Guardian yet. You have not gone through the ceremony. You do not have...
Mage, I can't think about the things that I don't have. I will never be Celine. But that doesn't mean I should stand around while Hydragay, my village, is destroyed.
That's not what I meant. Let us divide and conquer. You may have noticed, but the spellcaster is distances away. His magic comes from the opposite direction of the Great Hall.
I've noticed, even with my mediocre powers, I can sense the source of magic. Something powerful emanates from the outskirts of the village.
To attack innocent people while hiding from afar. The spellcaster is a coward, someone who cannot bear the consequences of his actions.
Who is he? I need names. Come at me, bro.
But regardless, this magic is formidable. Do not needlessly face danger. As the Guardian, you must prioritize the villagers' safety. The villagers are gathered in the Great Hall for the ceremony. While you evacuate the villagers, I will apprehend the attacker. Do you understand?
Mage doesn't want me to fight the enemy. He's asking me to focus on the villagers. What should I do?
Oh no, don't give me a choice. Mage is right, I must protect the villagers, or no, as Guardian, I must fight the enemy. I think I'm gonna take Mage's, I'm gonna take his word on that. Let's protect the villagers, like he told us to do.
Mage is right. I must protect the villagers. You're right. I'll make sure nobody gets hurt.
You've made a wise choice. I will apprehend the perpetrator. Do not come for me unless I call for you. Do you understand?
Yes. Please be careful, Mage.
Don't be the mentor character that dies in the beginning and forces responsibility onto their young prodigy. You as well.
There's a tug of apprehension in my heart, but it's best to let him go. Mage is strong. He alone is worth 100 men. It's eerily silent when I reach the Great Hall. A suffocating feeling of dread creeps up my back. Maybe everyone evacuated. Maybe no one is hurt. But that's foolish thinking.
Oh no.
Aw, man! The hall is destroyed. Under the rubble are bodies, pale and unmoving, swallowed by pools of blood. Instinctively, I avert my eyes, unable to stomach the grotesque view. At least this time, I stop myself from throwing up. This can't be. Well, what am I supposed to do now? But I compose myself, try to compose myself. Think of Lord Azura. What would he say?
Savay, you are too soft, too kind, too weak. You cannot remain a child of summer.
I'm not soft, I'm not kind, and I'm not weak. Well, I'm a little kind. I'm definitely not weak. I know what to do. I know what to say. I am here, your guardian of Hydragay. Those who can hear me. But my voice falters. My words reach no one. Savay!
Thank God you're safe. Her radiance's protection is with you.
Avion signs a cross over his chest. He looks unscathed. You're okay? Where's Lord Azura?
Lord Azura and I were here, preparing for the ceremony. He asked me to fetch something from his room, so I left. But I ran back as soon as I heard the explosions.
Nalia? And Kelsey?
I don't know. They were still here when I left. There were other villagers outside running away. Miss Nalia, she...
Avion's voice cracks. He tries to speak, but nothing comes out of his mouth. I didn't see Nalia or Kelsey among the bodies, but I hadn't looked closely.
Were there pictures on the title screen? I can't remember.
I think they're okay. They have to be okay. We have to track down the villagers and make sure no one else gets hurt. The explosions were caused by magic. Mage is hunting down the magician behind this.
A magician is attacking Hydragay? That can't be right. Everyone knows that Hydragay is under Mage's protection. What kind of fool would challenge Mage?
We don't know if the attacker is alone. They may have an army. Can you protect yourself?
Yes. I brought something with me. I was just about to say it'd be hilarious if he pulled out a gun. And he did. Avion's like, break yourself, fool.
Where did you find a gun?
Your mama?
Your mama. It belonged to my brother. When he passed, the military allowed us to keep his revolver. I know no one outside the military can own firearms. But Lord Azura pulled many strings. He wanted to keep his son's memento. Oh, so his father is the head dude. Oh. I like how relationships are kind of subtly woven into things, and it's not blunt like this person is this person is this. It's actually woven into the story as to who's who and what's what. I like that. That's good storytelling. I've never thought about using it, but it was just there, in Father's room.
Do you know how to use it?
My brother taught me when I was younger. He thought I was going to join him, serve in the military. That was a long time ago. Anyway, what's your plan?
Avion's voice is without emotion. It's as if he's trying to keep cool under pressure. But his trembling hands give him away. Avion grasped the handle of the revolver tightly, likely in an attempt to stay still.
Remember, buddy, trigger discipline.
There's a hidden basement under the Great Hall. Mage and I have been taking care of this safe room for the past few years. We need to shelter the villagers to treat the wounded. Avion nods. He turns the revolver in his hands, eyes on the trigger. I doubt that he would need to use the gun. I will protect him. Let's go.
Who is the...
We never use Avion's gun. It's been hours since the attack. Avion and I remain in the Great Hall, trying to salvage anything or anyone that we can find.
There are still people missing. Some of these buildings will take months, no years to rebuild.
I stay silent, head full of questions and doubt. Although Hydragay was devastated, nothing was stolen from the village. Who is the attacker? Why did they come to Hydragay? I should have taken the dead soldier as a sign. We should have postponed the ceremony to search for suspicious activity. This disaster could have been prevented. But what's done cannot be undone. Nalia! I found more villagers. They were shaken but unhurt. Thankfully, Nalia and Kelsey remained unscathed. Yay! Their designs are too pretty to be killed off. Hours after the explosions, Avion and I found them distances away from the Great Hall. As soon as we spotted each other, Kelsey broke down into a sobbing mess, while Nalia hugged us wordlessly.
You should have let us come with you.
No, you and Savay had work to do here. Nalia had volunteered to survey the outskirts for survivors. Avion and I stayed behind to calm frightened villagers and perform first aid. How's Kelsey? She's asleep. Today's events took a toll on her. About today. Nalia hesitates, as if unsure what to say. It was thanks to Kelsey that both of us avoided the worst. Thanks to Kelsey? What do you mean? Right before the ceremony was supposed to start, Kelsey knew something was off. She started screaming, insisting that everyone leave the Great Hall. But no one listened to her. The ceremony was going to start any moment.
What? When did this happen?
This was after you left the Great Hall. Remember, Lord Azura asked you to fetch something for him. Kelsey was terrified, overwhelmed. Others thought it was a joke or nerves. But I could tell something was wrong, so I took her outside, far away from the Great Hall. Does Kelsey have some sort of spidey sense? I figured we'd just apologize to you later, Savay. I thought for sure we were going to miss the ceremony. Only a few minutes had passed when we started to hear explosions. By then, Kelsey was overcome with terror. I couldn't force her to move. We hurried back once the explosions died down. That was when we ran into the two of you. I'm just glad the two of you are safe.
It must have been pure animal instinct. There's no other way to explain it.
I have no idea what to think of this new information. How was Kelsey able to predict the attack when no one else could? Well, let me check on Kelsey. I don't want her to be alone when she wakes up. Let me know when Mage comes back.
Yeah. Mage, better come back in one piece.
Nalia heads downstairs, leaving Avion and me behind. It doesn't take long for Mage to return.
Oh, thank goodness.
Mage, you're safe.
Not dead to start me on my hero's journey. What happened? Who was behind the explosions? You captured the enemy, right? It was the clan of Lysian. Or, more accurately, it was the clan leader, Lysian.
Lysian. Lord Azura mentioned that name earlier. According to Lord Azura, the dead body found this morning had Lysian's signature mutilations. That's never good when a guy has a signature mutilation. Which means the clan of Lysian was probably responsible for last night's murder. A clansman attacked Hydragay? It's difficult to imagine clansmen inside Hydragay. Mage is one of the most powerful magicians in the world. Only a fool would attack a village under Mage's protection.
Lysian has left Hydragay. He won't be back.
Curiously, Mage bears no signs of battle, free of blood or bruise. You let him leave?
You couldn't capture him? Bring him to justice? He's the one responsible for everything. The villagers. He was not a force to be reckoned with.
Not a force to be reckoned with?
You're ridiculous. Look at yourself. Did you even try to fight him? All is behind us. There's nothing that can be done. All is behind us? We've got unquantifiable corpses on our conscience.
Avion's face burns crimson. His features contort with suppressed anger. Avion, it's not that I don't share your sentiment, but we need answers. Let's calm down and listen to Mage's story. I too hold doubt over Mage's actions, but I want to deal with the events that happened instead of pointing blame.
Forgive me.
Mage, as always, tries to avoid conflict. Apologizing and taking blame seems almost second nature to him. But as if Mage's apology serves as a trigger, Avion snaps. In a flash, Avion strikes out and seizes Mage by the throat.
Say that again, coward! Tell that to the villagers who's lost everything. Tell them that the mighty Mage wouldn't kill that scum.
Avion, stop this! Hitting Mage won't solve anything.
It'll make him feel better.
I grab Avion, trying to break the two men apart.
Get out of my way, Savay.
Avion shoves me aside and tightens his grip around Mage's throat. Mage isn't resisting or saying anything, which makes it worse. Avion, you're not thinking clearly.
I'm perfectly aware of what I'm doing. But what was Mage thinking when he let Lysian go?
Put your hand down. Don't do anything you'll regret. What would Nalia say if she saw you like this? There's a tense moment of uncertainty, but Avion eventually releases his grip. Mage, please explain to us what happened between you and Lysian.
Savay, you and I must speak in private. The information that I will share is confidential. Is this a joke? Only Savay is allowed to hear your story? I am head priest of Hydragay. I deserve to know what happened.
I lean towards Avion and lower my voice to a whisper. Whatever information Mage shares with me, I promise to share it with you. I know that Mage must have his reasons. I trust his judgment.
Fine. You better keep your promise.
I try to give a reassuring nod to Avian before following Mage outside. Mage brings me to his study. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry to talk. He pulls out a thick tome from his bookcase, flipping through the worn pages. It's a children's storybook, one of many hand-me-downs from Celine. I haven't touched it since she passed away. What does a children's book have to do with Lysian?
Celine and I grew up reading these same stories.
He hands me the open book, finger placed above painted letters. Ooh.
One of our favorites was the story about the elemental stones, the 4 treasures of the world, filled with incomparable power.
Mage urges me to read. My eyes pass over the familiar words. Once upon a time, in a small, quaint village fair, lived a widow and her son with love beyond compare. Though poor they were, they had each other to cherish. Their love kept them warm when winter winds did perish. But one day the mother fell ill, growing weak and frail. Her son did all he could, but nothing seemed to avail. So he set out on a journey, scoured land and sea, in search of a cure, a magical remedy. And finally he stumbled upon a legend so rare, the 4 stones, gems that could grant a wish so fair. Overjoyed, the son clasped his hands in prayer and plea, ready to save his mother with the wish he was granted to be. But temptation crept in like a thief in the night, as greed took over, blinding the son's sight. He wished for riches and fame instead of healing his mother's pain. The widow died, waiting for a son who never returned again. Aww. It's a cautionary tale about human greed, a morbid story.
Fairy tales can have their dark sides, but these stories start somewhere. Someone created them with a purpose.
What do you mean?
Each guardian village has its own stone. Our village, Hydragay, carries the water stone.
Thus the word Hydra in the name. Ha ha ha.
These stones were passed down from the original guardians, granting power and immortality to the user.
Did the dude have one such stone? Power and immortality? But Hydragay had many guardians. The first guardians are long gone. And Celine. I falter. My grandmother's death is a heavy subject for Mage. As cousins close in age, they grew up as friends and rivals. To Celine, Mage had promised eternal loyalty.
The stone grants its power to only one owner at a time. Death is a natural part of life. The guardians, including your grandmother, knew to let go. Celine relinquished the water stone out of her own free will. She entrusted the future to you, Savay.
How could Celine make such a heavy decision? I was just a child when she passed away. Wasn't she afraid of making the wrong choice? What if she passed the torch to someone unworthy?
But as you may guess, the elemental stones have always been a source of conflict. Even Celine had trouble with the stone. To spare you from the same fate, your grandmother decided to take the stone to her grave. But with the stone's power, we could easily reverse today's damages.
A feeling of relief washed over me. I can fix my mistakes. There's a chance for a do-over.
What kind of do-over?
But something about Mage's expression doesn't seem right. Mage, where is the stone now?
When I fought Lysian, the stone was already in his possession. That monster had defiled her grave and pried the stone from her remains.
From Celine's remains?
thought of Lysian prying the stone from Celine's cold, decaying hands makes me nauseous. Lord Azura was right. Clansmen will stoop to the lowest depths, stopping at nothing to satisfy their greed. But a nagging question lingers in my mind. How did Legion discover the stone's hiding place? Pardon me. Avion told me that the two of you would be here. Nalia, it's quite all right. If you could not wait, it must be something important. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Lord Azura is dead. His body has been discovered.
Aww.
Oh, shoot.